Hello, everyone. Today, I want to tell you about a little dog. The dog lived with a boy. Every morning, the boy opened the front door. The dog came running. The boy walked outside. The dog followed him. Sometimes the boy walked quickly. Sometimes he walked slowly. The dog stayed with him. When the boy stopped, the dog stopped. When the boy sat down, the dog sat beside him. The boy did not think much about this. It happened every day. The dog was simply there. One morning, the boy walked to a small hill. The sun was warm. The sky was blue. The boy felt happy. He ran up the hill. The dog ran with him. They played under a tree. It was an easy day. Staying together was easy too. But not every day was like that. A few days later, the weather changed. The sky was gray. The wind was cold. The road was wet. The boy did not feel happy. He walked slowly. The dog still followed him. The boy stopped under a tree. The dog stopped too. The boy looked at him. "You are still here." The dog moved his tail. That was all. But the boy smiled. Sometimes staying is a simple thing. But simple things can be powerful. Think about something you want to learn. At first, you may feel excited. You buy a notebook. You make a plan. You say, "I will do this every day." The first day feels good. The second day feels good too. Then something changes. You become busy. You become tired. The work becomes harder. The new feeling is gone. This is where many people stop. Starting is exciting. Staying is different. Staying means coming back when the new feeling is gone. Think about a small garden. You plant a flower. On the first day, you are excited. You give it water. The next morning, you look at it. Nothing has changed. You give it water again. The next day, it looks almost the same. After some time, watering the flower does not feel exciting. It is just something you do. But the flower still needs water. Many good things grow this way. They need us to stay. Learning English is like that too. Maybe you started because you wanted to speak English well. You felt excited. You watched a lesson. You learned new words. You listened to a story. Then a week passed. Some words disappeared from your mind. Some sentences were difficult. Maybe you thought, "Why am I still having trouble?" That is the moment when staying becomes important. You do not need to feel excited every day. You only need to come back. Listen again. Read again. Say the sentence again. Do something small. Then come back tomorrow. Think about brushing your teeth. You probably do not wait for a special feeling. You do not say, "I feel very excited about brushing my teeth today." You simply do it. It is part of your day. English can slowly become part of your day too. It does not always need to feel like a big lesson. 5 minutes can be enough. One short story can be enough. A few sentences can be enough. The important thing is that you return. The boy continued walking. The dog walked beside him. Then the boy saw a bird. He ran after it for a moment. The dog ran too. A little later, the boy became tired. He slowed down. The dog slowed down too. The dog did not say, "You are too slow today." He did not leave because the walk became boring. He simply stayed. There is a lesson in that. We often stay with something when it feels good. Then we leave when it becomes difficult. We start a book. The first pages are interesting. Then one part becomes slow. We stop reading. We start exercise. The first week feels exciting. Then our body feels tired. We stop. We start English. The first lessons feel new. Then progress becomes harder to see. We stop. But many good things are waiting after that point. Think about learning to play a song. At first, your hands move slowly. You make mistakes. You play the same part again and again. It may become boring, but if you stay with it, your hands begin to remember. One day, the part that felt difficult feels easy. What changed? You stayed long enough to change. English needs time like that too. A word may feel strange the first time. You hear it again. Then you see it in a story. Then you hear it in another sentence. Little by little, it becomes familiar. One day, you hear it and understand it right away. You may think, "Oh, I know that word." That moment did not come from one big lesson. It came because you met the word many times. You stayed with English long enough to meet it again. This is why repetition matters. You do not always need a new word. Sometimes you need an old word again. You do not always need a new lesson. Sometimes you need to hear the same simple sentence again. Easy English can help with this. You understand more, so you can pay attention to the words. You can hear the same simple patterns many times. Your mind begins to know them. Do not be afraid to repeat easy things. They are helping you. The boy and the dog reached a small bridge. The boy sat down. The dog sat beside him. For a while, they did nothing. The boy watched the water. The dog watched the boy. Then the boy stood up. The dog stood up too. The boy laughed. "You really do follow me everywhere." The dog moved his tail again. The boy began to understand something. The dog did not stay only when the walk was fun. He stayed when it was slow. He stayed when it was cold. He stayed when nothing special happened. That was what made his staying special. Your habits work in the same way. A habit is not strong because you do it once on a very good day. A habit becomes strong because you return on normal days. Quiet days. Busy days. Days when you do not feel special. Those days matter. Maybe today is not a great English day. You are tired. Do not try to do everything. Listen for 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes is too much. Listen to 1 minute. Hear one sentence. Say it once. That small action says, "I am still here." Tomorrow you can do more. The goal is not to make every day perfect. The goal is to keep the door open. Think about a long road. You do not need to run every day. Some days you walk quickly. Some days you walk slowly. Sometimes you stop and rest. But when you are ready, you return to the road. That is how long journeys continue. English is a long road too. There may be days when you understand a lot. Enjoy them. There may be days when you understand very little. Do not be afraid of them. One difficult day does not tell you how far you can go. Come back tomorrow. This is something simple but important. Do not make one bad day bigger than it is. Maybe you forgot the words you learned yesterday. Review them. Maybe you did not understand today's story. Listen again tomorrow. Maybe you did not study at all. Come back. You do not need to punish yourself. You need to return. The boy started walking home. The dog followed beside him. The road was quiet. Nothing exciting happened. But the dog was still there. step after step, road after road, day after day. Maybe that is what we need when we want to become better at something. Not a perfect day, not a perfect plan, not a big feeling every morning. We need to stay with it. Your English does not need you to be perfect. It needs you to return. Listen. Read. Repeat. Use what you know. Then come back. Some days, do a lot. Some days, do a little. But keep the door open. Let English stay in your life. A few minutes today. A few minutes tomorrow. Then another day. Give those small days time to work together. The little dog did not know anything about big goals. He did not know anything about study plans. He simply knew how to stay. Maybe we can learn something from that. When something matters to you, stay with it. When the day is easy, stay. When the day is normal, stay. When the day is difficult, do what you can. Then come back again. You do not have to move fast. You do not have to do a lot. Just do not disappear from your own journey. Stay with it. The next morning, the boy opened his eyes. Rain was hitting the window. The sky was dark. The room felt cold. The boy stayed in bed. He did not want to go outside. He did not want to do much at all. Then he heard a small sound at the door. Scratch. Scratch. The boy knew that sound. He opened the door. The little dog was sitting there. His tail moved slowly. The boy smiled. Not today. The dog looked at him. The boy closed the door. A few minutes passed. Then he heard the sound again. Scratch. Scratch. The dog was still there. The boy laughed. He put on his shoes. Okay. They went outside. The rain was light now. The road was wet. The boy did not run. He did not walk far. They only walked to the end of the road and back. It was a very short walk. But they went. Some days are like that. You wake up with energy. You want to do things. You feel ready. Other days are different. You feel tired. You feel busy. You do not want to begin. Those days are important too. It is easy to continue when you feel good. The harder question is, what do you do when you do not feel like doing it? Many people wait for a good feeling. They say, I will study when I feel ready. I will exercise when I have more energy. I will read when I have more time. But the good feeling does not always come. Sometimes we need to begin without it. Think about washing dishes. Maybe you do not want to wash them. They are still in the sink. You wait. You still do not want to do it. Then you wash one cup. You wash one plate. Soon you are moving. Starting change the feeling. This happens with English too. Maybe you plan to study for 30 minutes. But today you are tired. 30 minutes feels too long. Do not think. 30 minutes or nothing. There is another choice. Study for 5 minutes. Listen to one short story. Read 5 sentences. Repeat 3 words. Do something small. A small day is better than no day when you can manage it. This does not mean you must push yourself every day. Rest is important. Sometimes you really need rest. But there is a difference between resting and waiting for perfect motivation. You can rest when you need to. Then come back. The important thing is coming back. The boy and the dog reached a small tree. The rain became stronger. The boy stood under the tree. The dog stood beside him. The boy looked toward home. He could go back. That would be okay. They had already walked a little. Then the rain became softer again. The boy decided to walk a little farther. Not much, just a little. Some days that is enough. We often think progress must be big to matter. But imagine two people. One person studies English for 2 hours on Sunday. Then they do nothing for the rest of the week. Another person studies for 10 minutes on many days. Who is building a stronger habit? The answer is not always about total time. The second person is learning how to return. That is powerful. Every time you return, you make the next return easier. Think about a path through grass. The first time you walk through it, the grass is high. The path is hard to see. Walk there again tomorrow. Then again. After many days, a path begins to appear. Your habits are like that. Every time you do something, you make a small path in your day. Listen to English after breakfast. Do it again tomorrow. Read a short story before bed. Do it again. Soon, your mind begins to know. This is something I do. That is different from saying, this is something I want to do. Wanting is a thought. Doing creates the path. The boy began walking again. His shoes were wet. His hair was a little wet, too. The walk was not as fun as the sunny walk. But the dog did not seem to care. He walked beside the boy. Step, step, step. The boy looked down at him. The dog was not waiting for perfect weather. He was simply walking. We cannot wait for perfect weather in life either. There will always be something. A busy day, a tired morning, a bad mood, a difficult week. If you need every day to be perfect before you practice English, you may wait for a long time. Instead, make your English small enough to fit into real life. This is important. Your study plan should work on normal days, not only perfect days. Maybe 1 hour works when you have a free day. But can you do 1 hour on a busy Tuesday? Maybe not. So create a smaller version. Your normal plan may be 20 minutes. Your busy day plan may be 5 minutes. Your very tired day plan may be 1 sentence. All three can be useful. Think about a light in a small room. You do not always need a big light. Sometimes a little lamp is enough. It does not light the whole house. It only keeps one small place bright. A small English habit can be like that. 5 minutes may not change everything today. But it keeps English close. It keeps the door open. Tomorrow you can do more. This can help with listening. Maybe you usually listen to a full story. Today, that feels too long. Listen to 1 minute. Choose something easy. Do not test yourself. Just listen. Hear the words. Notice a sentence you know. Then stop. You still touched English today. That matters. Maybe you usually learn 5 words. Today, learn 1. Use it in 1 sentence. Say it aloud. Then you are done. Small practice is still practice. We sometimes make a mistake with goals. We make only one version of the goal. Study 30 minutes every day. Then one difficult day comes. We cannot do 30 minutes, so we do 0. But 30 and 0 are not the only choices. There is 20. There is 10. There is 5. There is 1. A ladder has many steps. A road has many small parts. Your day can have a small step too. The boy and the dog reached a bench. The boy sat down. The dog sat beside him. Rain fell from the leaves. The boy looked at the road behind them. They had not gone very far. Yesterday, they had walked much farther. But the boy did not feel bad. Today was a different day. Today needed a different walk. That is true for learning too. Do not ask every day to look the same. Maybe yesterday you studied for 40 minutes. Today you only have 10. Use the 10. Maybe yesterday English felt easy. Today your mind feels slow. Choose easier English. Maybe yesterday you learned many words. Today you remember only one. Work with that one. A difficult day does not need a perfect performance. It needs a possible step. That word is important. Possible. Ask yourself, what is possible today? Not, what should I be able to do? Not, what did someone else do? What can you do today? Then do that. This can make learning much calmer. The boy stood up again. The dog stood too. They started walking home. The rain was almost gone. The boy noticed something. He had not wanted to leave the house. But now he was happy that he had come outside. The walk had been short. It had not been perfect. But it was real. Sometimes action comes before motivation. We think we need to feel ready before we begin. But sometimes beginning helps us feel ready. You open the English story. You tell yourself, only 1 minute. Then you listen. Maybe 1 minute becomes 3. Maybe 3 becomes 10. Or maybe you stop after 1 minute. Both are okay. You came back. That is the important part. Do not make the small beginning too hard. If you tell yourself, I must study for 1 hour, your mind may say, no. If you say, I will listen to 1 sentence, starting feels easier. And after you start, you can decide what comes next. This is why small habits can be strong. They make the door easy to open. Think about a heavy door. If it is very hard to open, you may not want to use it. But if the door opens easily, you can walk through it every day. Make the door to English easy. Keep an easy story ready. Keep a short lesson ready. Know what you can do in 5 minutes. Do not spend your tired days looking for the perfect lesson. Make the first step simple. The boy reached his house. He opened the door. Then he looked back. The little dog was wet. His feet were dirty, but his tail was moving. The boy smiled. Today had not been a good day for a long walk, so they had taken a short walk. That was enough. There is wisdom in that. When you cannot do a lot, do a little. When you cannot move quickly, move slowly. When you need real rest, rest. Then return. Do not turn one difficult day into the end of something good. English does not need your best day every day. It needs many normal days, some good days, some difficult days, some 5-minute days, some 1-minute days. They can all be part of the same journey. So when you wake up one day and think, I do not feel like studying English today, do not fight with yourself for an hour. Make the step smaller. Open the story. Listen to 1 sentence. Read 1 line. Say 1 word. Maybe you will continue. Maybe you will not. But you came back. And every time you come back, you are teaching yourself something important. You are teaching yourself to stay. Good days help you move. Hard days teach you how to continue. You do not need a good feeling to take a small step. Do what you can today. Then come back tomorrow. A few days passed. The weather became warm again. The boy and the little dog walked together every day. Some walks were long. Some walks were short. Some days were fun. Some days were quiet. Then one afternoon, the boy sat at his desk. There was a book in front of him. He wanted to read it, but he did not feel like reading. He looked out the window. The sun was shining. He wanted to go outside. He looked at the book again. Maybe later. He closed it. Then he heard the little dog near the door. The dog was waiting for his walk. The boy smiled. "You always want to go." He stood up. But then he noticed something. The dog did not always look excited. Some days the dog jumped near the door. Some days he simply stood there. But he still came. The boy began to think. Maybe doing something did not always need a big feeling. Sometimes you simply began. This is important. We often think motivation must come first. First, we feel excited. Then we act. Sometimes that happens, but not always. Sometimes action comes first. Then the feeling follows. Think about cleaning your room. You look around. There are clothes on the floor. There are books on the table. You do not want to clean. So you wait. 5 minutes pass. You still do not want to clean. Then you pick up one shirt. You put it away. You pick up one book. Then another. Soon you are cleaning. Your feeling changed after you started. Starting created movement. English can work the same way. Maybe you sit down to study. You do not feel excited. Do not wait for excitement. Open the book. Read one sentence. Or play an easy English story. Listen for 1 minute. That can be enough to begin. Sometimes 1 minute becomes 5. 5 minutes becomes 10. You begin to enjoy the story. Now you want to continue. The motivation came after the action, not before it. This is useful to remember. You do not always have to feel ready. You can begin small. The boy opened his book again. He decided to read only 1 page. That felt possible. He read the first sentence, then the second. The story became interesting. He finished the page. Then he read one more. The boy laughed. A few minutes ago, he did not want to read at all. What changed? The book did not change. The boy started. Sometimes the hardest part is not doing the work. The hardest part is beginning the work. Think about a car. A car that is not moving stays in one place. But once it begins to move, continuing can feel easier. We can feel like that too. Starting can feel heavy. Continuing can feel lighter. This is why a small beginning can be powerful. Do not tell yourself, "I must study English for 1 hour." That may feel heavy. Tell yourself, "I will listen for 2 minutes." Now the door feels easier to open. After 2 minutes, you can stop. Or you can continue. Both are okay. The goal of the small beginning is to help you start. Think about putting on your shoes. Maybe you do not feel like taking a walk. But you put on your shoes, then you stand by the door. Now going outside feels easier. One small action leads to another. English can have a first action too. Maybe your first action is putting your notebook on the table. Maybe it is opening your English story. Maybe it is putting on your headphones. Maybe it is reading one sentence aloud. Make the first action easy. Then let the next action follow. The little dog walked to the door. The boy followed him. They went outside. The dog walked down the road. The boy walked beside him. After a few minutes, the boy felt happy to be outside. He thought, I almost stayed home. The good feeling came after he began walking. This happens in many parts of life. You may not want to exercise. Then you move for 5 minutes. Your body wakes up. You may not want to cook. Then you cut one vegetable. Soon you are making dinner. You may not want to call someone. Then you make the call. A few minutes later, you are glad you did. Feelings can change after action. So do not let every feeling become a command. I am tired. That feeling is real. Maybe you need rest. But sometimes you can still do something small. I am bored. That feeling is real too. But maybe 5 minutes is still possible. I do not feel motivated. That is okay. Motivation is helpful. It is not always required. You can take a small step without it. Think about the sun. Some mornings are bright. Some mornings are cloudy. But your daily life continues. You eat. You wash. You get dressed. You do many normal things. You do not need perfect weather for all of them. Your English habit can become more like that. Some days you feel excited. Study. Some days you feel normal. Study a little. Some days you feel tired. Do something very small or take the rest you truly need. Then return. The goal is not to fight yourself. The goal is to make returning easier. This is where habits can help. If you study at a different time every day, you must make a new choice every day. When should I study? Should I do it now? Maybe later? But a simple habit can remove some of those questions. Maybe you listen to English after breakfast. Breakfast ends. English begins. Maybe you read 5 sentences before bed. You get into bed. You read. Maybe you listen during a short walk. You put on your shoes. You play the story. One thing can lead to the next thing. This makes starting easier. Think about the little dog. The boy did not need a new plan for every walk. The dog came to the door. The boy put on his shoes. They went outside. It became part of the day. English can find a small place in your day too. It does not need a large place. It needs a place you can return to. This is especially useful when learning feels slow. Motivation loves quick results. You do something. You want to see a change. You learn 10 words. You want to remember all 10. You listen for a week. You want English to sound easy. But learning does not always give quick results. That can make motivation disappear. Habits help when results are slow. You do not ask, "Did my English become much better today?" You ask, "Did I come back today?" That question is easier to answer. Maybe you listened for 10 minutes. Yes. Maybe you read 1 page. Yes. Maybe you repeated 5 sentences. Yes. Then today had value. You do not need to see the final result yet. Think about filling a bucket with a small cup. 1 cup does not look like much. You add another, then another. You may become tired of looking at the bucket, but the water is still going in. Your practice is like that. Every easy story gives your ears more English. Every repeated sentence gives your mind another chance to remember. Every word you meet again becomes more familiar. The change may be quiet, but quiet change is still change. The boy and the dog reached a small field. The dog suddenly stopped. He sat down. The boy waited. The dog looked tired, so they rested together. After a few minutes, the dog stood up. Then they walked again. The boy smiled. Even the little dog did not move all the time. Staying with something does not mean never resting. This is important. A good habit is not a punishment. If you are truly tired, rest. If your mind needs a break, take one. But let rest be rest. Do not let it quietly become goodbye. There is a difference. You can say, "Today I need to rest." Then tomorrow, return. That is very different from saying, "I missed today, so my plan is over." One missed day does not destroy a habit. What matters is what you do next. Come back. This is why we should not make motivation too important. Motivation changes. Today, it is strong. Tomorrow, it may be weak. If your whole plan depends on motivation, your plan changes with your feelings. A simple habit gives you something more steady. It says, "This is what I do." Not, "This is what I do only when I feel excited." Think about learning one English sentence every day. One sentence seems very small, but imagine doing it for a long time. Some sentences will disappear. Some will stay. Some will return in other stories. You will hear the same words again. You will notice simple patterns. Your English will slowly become more familiar. The power is not in one special day. The power is in returning. The boy and the dog began walking home. The sun was lower now. The boy thought about the book on his desk. He had planned to read one page. He had read two. Not because he had waited for motivation. He had simply opened the book. That small action had been enough. Maybe there is something you are waiting to feel ready for. Maybe it is English. Do not ask yourself to feel excited first. Make the beginning small. Open the story. Listen to one sentence. Read one line. Say one word. Then see what happens. Maybe you will stop there. That is okay. Maybe you will continue. That is good too. You already did the hardest thing. You began. Some days, motivation will help you. Enjoy those days. But when motivation is quiet, you can still move. You have your small habit. You have your simple first step. You know how to return. You do not need a good feeling to begin. Sometimes beginning creates the good feeling. So do not wait for motivation every day. Start small. Let action come first. Then take the next small step. One morning, the boy opened the door. The little dog was not there. The boy waited. Usually the dog came quickly. But today, nothing happened. The boy looked down the road. Still nothing. So he went back inside. The next morning, he opened the door again. The dog was still not there. Another day passed. Then another. The boy began to miss him. Every morning felt different. He still opened the door. But the little dog did not come. Then one afternoon, the boy heard a sound outside. Scratch. Scratch. He knew that sound. He ran to the door. The little dog was there. His feet were dirty. His hair was messy. He looked tired, but his tail was moving. The boy smiled. "You came back." The dog walked inside. That was enough. Sometimes we leave something for a while. Maybe we are busy. Maybe we are tired. Maybe life changes. Then a few days become a week. A week becomes longer. We begin to think, "I stopped." Then another thought comes. Maybe it is too late to start again. But coming back is always possible. Think about English. Maybe you studied every day for 1 month. Then you became busy. You missed Monday. You missed Tuesday. Soon, a whole week passed. Now opening your English book feels strange. You may think, I lost my habit. Maybe you did. But you did not lose the door. You can open it again. This is important. Missing a day is not the same as giving up. Missing a week is not the same as giving up. Stopping for some time is not the same as giving up. You give up when you decide not to return. So return. Do not make it difficult. Do not say, I missed 7 days, so now I must study for 3 hours. You do not need to pay back the lost days. Start with today. Listen for 5 minutes. Read 1 page. Learn 1 word. Come back gently. Think about visiting an old friend. Maybe you have not seen the friend for a long time. When you meet again, you do not need to rebuild every memory in 1 day. You sit together. You talk. The connection begins again. English can feel like that too. You may feel slow at first. Some words may be harder to remember. That is okay. Give your mind a little time. Things can return. The boy gave the dog some water. The dog drank slowly. Then he went to his usual place. He turned around once. Then he lay down. The boy looked at him. The dog had been gone, but now he was back. The days apart did not remove all the days they had spent together. Your English works in a similar way. Maybe you stopped studying for 2 weeks. That does not mean every word you learned is gone. Some things may feel quiet. Use them again. Listen again. Read again. Your mind can remember more than you think. Think about riding a bicycle. Maybe you do not ride for a year. The first few minutes may feel strange, but you are not the same as someone riding for the first time. Your body remembers something. Learning can leave marks inside us. This is why returning is different from starting from zero. You are bringing your old experience with you. Do not look at the break and say, I am back at the beginning. You are not at the beginning. You are simply returning to the road. This can change the way you think about mistakes too. Maybe you plan to listen to English every morning. You did well for 10 days. Then you missed 1 morning. Many people think, I broke my plan. Then they miss the next day too. 1 missed day becomes many days. Why? Because they wanted the habit to be perfect. But habits do not need to be perfect. They need to survive imperfect days. Think about a long friendship. Good friends do not stop being friends because 1 day was difficult. They talk again. They meet again. They return. Your relationship with learning can work like that. 1 bad day does not need to become the end. The next day is another chance. The little dog rested for a while. Later, the boy picked up the dog's leash. The dog looked up. Do you want to walk? The dog's tail moved. They went outside. The boy did not choose a long road. The dog was still tired. So they took a short walk. They went to the end of the street. Then they came home. It was enough. Returning does not need to be big. This is especially important after a long break. If you have not studied English for a month, do not begin with your hardest lesson. Choose something easy. Choose something familiar. Listen to a story you already know. Read simple sentences. Let English feel friendly again. Then build from there. A small return is easier than a big restart. Think about opening a window. The room may have been closed for a long time. You do not need to remove the whole wall. Open the window. Let a little air come in. Your first day back can be like that. 5 minutes. One story. A few words. Enough to say, I am here again. That sentence matters. Sometimes we spend more time feeling bad about stopping than we spend starting again. We say, I should not have stopped. I wasted too much time. I was doing so well. Maybe all of that is true, but those thoughts do not change yesterday. Today is still here. Use today. You cannot practice English yesterday. You can practice now. You cannot change the week you missed. You can choose what happens next. That is where your power is. The boy and the dog walked together again the next morning. The dog looked stronger. They walked a little farther. The next day they went farther again. Soon their normal walks returned. Nothing special was needed. They simply started again. Your English can return that way too. Do not expect everything to feel easy on the first day back. Give it a few days. Let your ears hear English again. Let your eyes see the words again. Let your mouth say simple sentences again. Familiar things will begin to return. And when they do, you may realize something. You did not lose as much as you thought. This is why coming back is such an important skill. Anyone can miss a day. Anyone can become busy. Anyone can lose motivation. The question is not, will I ever stop? The better question is, what will I do when I stop? Know the answer now. Come back. Maybe after one day. Maybe after 1 week. Maybe after much longer. Come back anyway. Do not wait until Monday. Do not wait for a new month. Do not wait until you feel ready. Today can be your return day. The boy looked down at the little dog. The dog looked up at him. They continued walking. The dog had left. Then he had returned. And because he returned, the road continued. Maybe that is one of the most useful habits we can learn. Not how to be perfect. Not how to never miss a day. How to return. If you miss your English today, come back tomorrow. If you forget a word, learn it again. If you stop a book, open it again. If your habit becomes quiet, wake it up gently. You do not need to start from zero. You do not need to punish yourself. You only need to return. A good habit is not a habit that never breaks. A good habit is one you know how to come back to. So if you have been away from English for a while, this can be your day. Listen to one sentence. Read one line. Say one word. The door is still there. Open it. And come back. Many days passed. The boy and the little dog kept walking together. Some mornings were sunny. Some mornings were cold. Sometimes they walked far. Sometimes they only walked around the house. But they kept coming back. One morning, the boy noticed something. The little dog was waiting near the door. The boy picked up his shoes. He did not think about it. He simply put them on. Then he opened the door. Walking had become part of his day. He remembered the first rainy morning. That day, leaving the house had felt difficult. Now it felt natural. The boy smiled. Something had changed. Not in one day. Not in one big moment. It had changed little by little. This is how many good things grow. At first, something feels difficult. You have to think about it. You have to remind yourself. You may not want to do it. But you return. Then you return again. After enough time, something begins to change. What was difficult becomes easier. What felt strange becomes familiar. What needed a lot of thought begins to feel natural. English can grow this way too. Think about a simple sentence. The first time you hear it, you may not understand. You listen again. Now you hear one word. You listen another time. You understand a little more. A week later, you hear the same sentence again. This time, you understand it quickly. The sentence did not become easier. You changed. Your ears had heard more English. Your mind had seen the words before. The small practice was working, but it needed time. We often want change too quickly. We study for 1 week. Then we ask, why am I not better yet? We listen for 1 month. Then we ask, why is English still difficult? But think about a tree. You do not stand beside a young tree every morning and ask, why are you not tall yet? You know it needs time. It needs water. It needs light. It needs many ordinary days. Learning needs ordinary days too. Not every day needs to be special. You do not need a new study plan every week. You do not need a big goal every morning. Sometimes you only need to do the simple thing again. Listen. Read. Repeat. Come back tomorrow. The boy and the dog walked toward the hill. They had walked this road many times before. At first, the hill had made the boy tired. He used to stop halfway. He would sit under a tree. Then he would continue. But today, the boy reached the top without stopping. He looked around. Then he realized what had happened. The hill felt easier. He had not practiced climbing the hill with a big plan. He had simply walked often. His legs had slowly become stronger. Small walks had changed him. Your English practice can change you in the same quiet way. 10 minutes may not feel powerful today, but 10 minutes can return tomorrow. And again next week. One easy story may not feel important, but many easy stories give you many sentences. They give you common words again and again. Your ears begin to know the sound of English. Your mind begins to expect what comes next. This is why staying matters. Time can work with your practice, but time needs something from you. It needs you to return. Think about 2 people. One person studies very hard for 3 days. They study for hours. Then they become tired. They stop for a long time. Another person does a little. Maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 15. Some days, only 5. But the person keeps returning. After many months, those small days become a lot of time. Small things can become big when they stay in your life. This does not mean every day must be perfect. The boy and the dog had missed walks too. There had been rainy days. There had been tired days. The dog had even been away for a while. But they returned. That is the important part. Consistency does not mean never stopping. It means not letting every stop become the end. Maybe you missed English yesterday. Return today. Maybe you missed a week. Return this week. Maybe you stopped for months. You can still return. Do not spend another month thinking about the months you lost. Use today. The door is still there. Open it. The boy sat at the top of the hill. The little dog sat beside him. The boy looked down at the road. He remembered many walks. Some had been exciting. Most had not. Most were simple. They walked. They came home. Then another day came. But all those simple days had become something. They had become a habit. They had become memories. They had made the boy stronger. Ordinary days can do more than we think. Your English does not grow only on the days when you study for an hour. It also grows on the quiet Tuesday when you listen for 5 minutes. It grows when you read one page before bed. It grows when you hear a word you already know. It grows when you repeat a simple sentence. These moments may not feel exciting, but they are part of the change. Think about a stone beside a river. Water moves over it every day. One drop is weak. One day is short. But the water keeps coming. After a long time, even the stone changes. Small things become powerful when they continue. Your English practice does not need to be heavy. It needs time. Give it time. Do not try to change everything this week. Choose something you can continue. Maybe it is one easy story each day. Maybe it is 10 minutes of listening. Maybe it is 5 sentences before bed. Make it simple enough to return to. Then stay with it. There will be days when you feel motivated. Use them. There will be days when you do not. Make the step smaller. There will be days when you need rest. Rest. Then come back. Do not ask yourself to be perfect. Ask yourself to stay close to the road. The boy stood up. The little dog stood up too. They began walking down the hill. The dog moved a little slower than before. So the boy slowed down. He did not hurry. They had nowhere they needed to reach quickly. They were simply walking together. The boy looked at the little dog. For all this time, the dog had shown him something simple. Stay. Come back. Walk again. The dog had never said a word, but the lesson was clear. Maybe learning English needs the same kind of patience. Stay with it when it feels new. Stay with it when it feels normal. Stay with it when progress is hard to see. And when you leave for a while, come back. You do not need to become a different person tomorrow. You do not need perfect English next month. Give yourself time. Keep English close. Listen to things you can understand. Read simple words. Repeat useful sentences. Let them return again and again. One day something that was difficult will feel easier. One day a sentence will come without much thought. One day you will understand words you once missed. When that happens, remember the small days. They brought you there. The boy and the dog reached the bottom of the hill. The road home was quiet. The sun was going down. They walked side by side, step after step. Nothing big happened. But that was the lesson. Change does not always arrive with a big moment. Sometimes it arrives quietly. It comes from small things done many times. It comes from returning. It comes from staying long enough. So stay with your English. Stay with your goal. Do a little when a little is all you can do. Rest when you truly need rest. Then return. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be fast. You only need to keep coming back. Stay long enough to change. See you in the next story.